Zani is finally back, and this video will help you build the strongest Zani and squash your enemies in seconds. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting with Zani's kit. Her kit is really easy to understand. First of all, the spectrophrasal applied by any team member is converted to what is called as heliacal ember. Her resonance skill just deals some damage. However, if you time it with enemy's attacks, she takes no damage and unleashes a counter hit, stagnating the enemy. Also, after her resonance skill, she can directly connect it with her basic attack stage 3. You will notice she has two forte bars. The first forte bar is filled by almost all of her actions, her normal attacks, intro skill and resonance skill. When the forte is filled, her resonance skill is enhanced, dealing higher damage, and it gives 20% spectrophrasal amplification to Zani. Along with this, it gives 10 blaze attacks, which is a second forte. Now let's talk about the second forte. The second forte bar is filled by applying spectrophrasal by any teammate, and the enhanced resonance skill as I mentioned earlier. She gets 10 points from the skill and 5 points each for every spectrophrasal. Outside of her liberation, she can gain a total of 100 points of her forte. So she needs 90 points. That is a total of 18 fragile application from her teammates to get full forte. After her liberation is activated, her forte stacks are increased to 150 and she immediately gets 50 stacks. In her liberation mode, she consumes her blaze stacks to deal enhanced attacks. Her basic attack combo is changed into a 3-hit attack combo with the last hit called as Nightfall, dealing the most damage. In this mode, she can use her resonance skill to do a counter attack and cast the Nightfall attack after it. The more blaze points she has, the more damage she deals. During her liberation mode, you can swap out to other character and apply spectrophrasal to gain blaze stacks and prolong her rotation. This is possible in certain teams, which I will talk in detail later in this video. Also, the first attack she does right after her liberation, unless you dodge or move, is going to be her skill, which you can time with enemy attacks and stagnate them if possible. When her blaze points drop below 30 or after 8 seconds of using her liberation, her second liberation becomes available, which deals a lot of damage. Her intro skill recovers a huge amount of her forte and gives 12% spectro damage bonus. Her outro deals a good amount of damage and amplifies the spectro damage of other resonators by 20% on enemies with heliacal ember. The majority of Zani's damage comes from the attacks in her liberation state, which is considered as heavy attack and spectrophrasal damage. Here's a fun take. After Zani's third hit, if you wait a bit, she sits on her chair and a white flash can be seen. If you use a basic attack after that, she casts a special attack which recovers her forte to max really fast. Well, in combat it is not really used, but I thought I should mention it. For her talent priority, prioritize her forte followed by liberation, skill, intro and basic attacks. Moving on to her echoes. For her echoes, there is only one good option that you should be using. It is the Eternal Radiance. This set gives 10% spectro damage bonus and inflicting enemies with spectrophrasal gives 20% crit rate, which is huge. Additionally, it gives 15% spectro damage bonus on hitting enemies with 10 fragile stacks. And for the echo skill, the best one is a 3-cost Echo Cartethyia, giving 12% spectro and heavy attack damage bonus. Nightmare Morning X is also viable, but it provides slightly less buff. If you are someone that doesn't have access to the Eternal Radiance, you can use a Celestial Light with Morning X Echo skill as a placeholder. For her echo stats, crit on the 4 cost, spectro damage bonus on the 3 cost, and attack percent on the 1 cost. You can replace one spectro damage 3 cost with an attack percent 3 cost if you don't have it. For her energy requirements, she needs around 15 to 20%. And for substats, get the required energy, then prioritize crit stats, attack percent, heavy attack damage and flat attack. Moving on to her weapons. Her best weapon is obviously going to be a signature Blazing Justice, providing a good amount of crit damage. Its passive provides attack percent, ability to ignore 8% of target's defense, and amplifies spectrophrasal damage by 50% for 6 seconds just by dealing damage. And it is very big upgrade over the standard banner weapon. Her second best option is Rochia's weapon, Tragic Comedy, which gives heavy attack damage bonus and Zani can keep the buff uptime, so it is really good for her. The next options are Qiuyuan and Shangliao's signature weapons acting as stat sticks. The standard banner weapon Abyss Surges is the best F2P option, giving turn of attack and energy regen. For 4 stars, you can use the BP weapon Aether Strike or Stonard, or attack percent weapons like Celestial Spiral and Hollow Mirage. Before moving on to our team comps, let's first talk about our rotations. Zani's rotations are really simple. We start with her intro, then use her resonance skill. If you can time it to counter, then that's good, or do a basic attack after it to fill her forte. Use the enhanced skill, you can counter with this as well. Just wait till the first hit lands on the enemy to apply the heliacal ember stack for the Eternal Radiance set buff. And you can animation cancel it with a liberation. The first attack after this will be a resonance skill which you can use to counter, or just spam her attacks till her forte runs out. Usually it is possible to do 2 full combos. If you can, try to counter some attacks with a resonance skill as it directly gives access to the Nightfall attack and also stagnates the enemy, keeping her safe. After her forte runs out, use a Liberation and Outro. I recommend using the Echo skill anywhere after her Liberation. If you want to skip her initial rotation, you can choose to do a double into rotation to fill her forte. Now let's talk about an important tip to making her rotation a lot better. Before that, just a quick note, if you are enjoying this video so far, do consider liking the video and leave a comment down below. Also share it with your friends. I'm planning to host giveaways on my Discord server, so this will help a lot. Since Phoebe in this team has tons of swap cancel windows, I recommend using that to speed up your rotations. Also sneak in the resonance skill plus basic attack combo of Zani in these swaps to fill her initial forte. You can see the example on the screen. Now I will explain Zani's best in slot team and break down its rotation. The highest damage dealing attack of Zani, the heavy attack Nightfall, has a very big animation. So I highly recommend you to swap cancel since Phoebe's buff doesn't get removed and there is nothing to lose unless you are using Zani with someone like Mortefi or Yuno whose buffs get removed. And this swap cancel tech has created the best team for Zani, which is with Phoebe and Spectre Rover. As I mentioned earlier, applying Frazzle while Zani is in ultimate state also gives her blaze points. So you can use the swap cancel windows and quickly apply Spectre Frazzle using Spectre Rover or Phoebe to prolong the rotation. And since these two generate so much Frazzle stacks, it allows you to prolong Zani's rotation, allowing you to do 4 Nightfall attacks instead of the usual 2 and letting you speedrun content. For the builds, Rover will use the Rejuvenating Glow set and Phoebe will use the Moonlit Clouds. The key points in this team is to build as much energy regen as possible on the Spectre Rover to have 100% uptime on his Liberation. Same with Phoebe. Try to build a good amount of energy regen on her. The second one is to get a dodge counter on Phoebe in order to fill her Concerto bar without having to use a second heavy attack. This is because Spectre Rover's ultimate, Phoebe's ultimate and one heavy attack are enough to fill up Zani's forte bar. And when Zani is in her ultimate state, we prolong her rotation using the second heavy attack of Phoebe and another ultimate cast of the Rover. Here's a rotation breakdown for this team. First we use the Rover's ultimate, then move to Phoebe to hold a resonance skill and animation cancel with a Liberation. Since I can get a dodge counter here, I take it. If there is no dodge counter, then you can use a 3 basic attack combo and swap cancel to Zani to use a resonance skill plus basic attack. Go back to Phoebe to use her heavy attack, which I swap cancel to Rover to use his echo skill and resonance skill. Then go back to Phoebe to fill her forte with the basic attack combo or a dodge counter. Just make sure to get as much dodge counters as possible on Phoebe to fill her Concerto fast. I avoid using her resonance skill during her rotation as it will stop the boss and make it difficult to dodge counter. When her Concerto is filled, use her Echo and Outro to Zani. Then use Zani's resonance skill, which you can decide to skip if the enemy has low HP. When the first hit lands, animation cancel with a Liberation, then use her attacks and right when the Nightfall attack starts, swap cancel to Phoebe to use the second heavy attack. And I use a resonance skill here which stagnates the enemy for smoother rotation. Then go back to Zani, use her attack combo and when the Nightfall attack starts, now swap to Rover to use its Liberation. Then go back to Zani which will allow you to do another combo and during the Nightfall, swap to Phoebe to hold the resonance skill for activating the Confession state and use the Liberation which should be up if you have enough energy. Now go back to Zani to do the Nightfall combo and end with the second ultimate if you can. Since the timings are so tight, sometimes you might miss the second ultimate but it is fine. You can also use this trick in Zani, Phoebe and Shorekeeper or Arena team for getting more Nightfall attacks and speedrunning contents. For this, you need Phoebe with a good amount of energy regen, and on the second Nightfall, swap cancel to generate some stacks with Phoebe's Liberation in Confession state. Now let's move on to our team comps. Pulling for Zani comes with the package deal of pulling Phoebe. If you are getting Zani, you have to pull Phoebe, cause without Phoebe, to put it bluntly, Zani sucks. Phoebe is a massive upgrade for Zani as she can apply the necessary amount of Spectral Frazzle and she is the only character who can buff Spectral Frazzle damage from her outro. And the best part is that this buff is team-wide buff, which doesn't get removed once swapped out. Additionally, she provides 10% Spectro resistance rate. And if you have her signature, she gives another 30% fragile damage amplification, which is really nice, but I think it's not needed. The only one needed is Phoebe. And for the last slot to use with Phoebe, there are many options like a sustain support, Spectre Rover, Shorekeeper and Varina. Spectre Rover here is the best option for damage and speed running, and I have just covered this team in detail in the previous section. However, the problem with Rover is that he doesn't provide enough healing, causing survival issues, so you can use Shorekeeper in the last slot or use Qiuyuan as she can give 50% heavy attack damage bonus along with healing, so she can activate the regenerating low set. I have showcased this team in a previous video which you can check out if you want to see the rotations. Frolova also works really well here as she can give heavy attack damage buff and deal good personal damage. Mortefi and Varina are other options. What to do if you don't have Phoebe? If you don't have her, you can use a Spectre Rover. He cannot generate enough fragile stacks, but he is still viable. If you pair him with Chakona, this duo can generate the required amount of fragile stacks. However, it will still not be on par with Phoebe as they cannot provide the damage buff, but it is the next best option. If you don't have Chakona as well, you can use a Rover in place of Phoebe in any of the teams that I mentioned earlier. When using the Spectre Rover with a sub DPS like Qiuyuan, Frolova or Mortefi, use him with regenerating glow set, and with the sustain support, use him with the Moonlit Clouds. Lastly, moving on to her sequences. The S1 provides a 50% Spectro damage bonus and interrupt resistance to the last hit of her heavy attack combo, which is a Nightfall attack, offering approximately 20% more damage compared to S0. Amongst all the characters, I would say she has a really good S1 but not really needed. S2 grants a permanent 20% crit rate boost, and the damage multiplier of her second resonance skill is increased by 80%, around 24% upgrade over the S1. S3 provides 1200% multiplier increase on her second ultimate, which is around 30% more damage. S4 and S5 are stepping stones for the big increase, her S6. It increases her heavy attack multipliers by 40%. It immediately restores 70 blades if it drops below 70, letting you do more strikes and prolongs the rotation. For pulling recommendations, the must pull for Zani is Phoebe even before her signature. After you get Phoebe, the next comes her signature, and after that you can consider her sequences or Phoebe's signature. Overall, Zani can deal massive amounts of damage with really easy to learn combos. She is really great for speedrunning contents and has a strong presence in the meta. Since she has good AoE, she has decent performance in Wutheirng wastes. She can counter enemies, and one thing I like the most is how satisfying it is to play with her, especially when you get perfect counters. The only downside of Zani is how expensive she is. Her teams need Phoebe, who is a premium unit, and she needs a signature to perform significantly well over the Abyss surges. Hope this video was helpful. Join my Discord server, I will be hosting giveaways, so make sure to like and share the video to support me for making more giveaways. Subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Thanks for watching.